function y equals x squared minus 3 is transformed to the function y equals x squared minus 5. And there's a very simple way of doing these problems. You use your calculator, you'll plug in both functions, and you're going to do them in order. Put the first one on top, the second one on bottom, just like this. Okay, you plug both functions in just like that, and then you're going to graph them. And notice what happens when you graph these. You're going to see the first one will be graphed, and then after that the second one will be graphed, and you can see the transformation that takes place. So let's watch it. Okay, it graphed the first one, and then the second one was below it, and if you count the marks there, it transformed it 2 units down. So it shifted it 2 units down. So answer A would be the right answer. You're going to be doing the same thing on several of these problems coming up. So I'm showing you the first one. You should be able to do the rest of these on your own. So stop the tape when you come to each one, work it out, and then start the tape back up to check it. Number 2, graph both functions. You should have gotten that it shifts up 11 units. Okay, next one. Do the same thing here. You should get a 3-unit shift up. And number 2, that will shift up 2 units. Next one. This one is going to shift down 4 units. And the next one up 3 units. Okay. Now these questions are exactly the same, you just don't have the graphs. It's still going to be the same way. Now they're giving it to you in a little different form though. They give you the graph, or the function here, and then they're asking you what will happen to the vertex if -4 is changed to 0. -4, they're talking about right here, it's -4. If you change that to 0, what's going to happen? So you're going to plug your functions in to your calculator. We could put -0 here, or -0 is just nothing, so you don't have to put the -0. So these are your 2 functions. Okay? So if you want, go ahead and put the -0 there. It won't make any difference. So when you graph those, you're going to get shift up 4 units. Okay? I'm going to go through these pretty quickly, so stop the tape if you need to. Number 2, 4 is changed to -1, so that would be a shift down of 5 units. Number 3, 4 is changed to 2, so it goes from 4 down to 2, shifts down 2 units. Number 4. -1 is changed to 5. You're down here at -1. It's changed to 5. That's a shift of 6 units up. Number 5. 6 is changed to 3. You're up at 6. You go down to 3. That's 3 units down. Okay. Which graph shows a function y equals 2x squared plus c when c is greater than 2? Okay. If you don't remember what these symbols mean, make sure you understand them. Okay, this is greater than, this is less than. Okay? There's different ways of remembering that. Some people use this little trick. Greater than, you can turn that into a G for greater than. Okay? Turns into a G. And this one, you can almost turn it into an L, like that, for less than. So there's one little trick you can use to remember which one's which if you don't remember. Okay. So this one says that C is greater than 2. Well, over here we have C. So what you want to do is think of a number greater than 2, like 3, and plug it in for C. So you could have y equals 2x squared plus 3, or anything greater than 2. Okay, I'm just going to use 3 here because it says anything greater than 2. Plug that into your calculator. There's your answer. That's what the graph will look most like. Number 2 says that C is less than -1. Well, what's a number that's less than -1? A good example would be -2. Just remember, here's your number line. There's -1. Less than -1 would be out here, which would be -2. So let's use -2 for C. -2 for C. And you're going to get a graph that looks like B. Okay. When graphed, which function would appear to be shifted 3 units down from the graph of x squared minus 2? Okay, this is just another way they might ask this question. You need to see which one of these answers gives you a shift of 3 units down from this graph. And when you plug that one in, that's the one that's going to give you a 3 units down shift from this graph. Number 2, we're going to shift 4 units up from this graph. And that's going to be answer A. Okay, number 1. Which equation is equivalent to? You've got these expressions here. And remember, whenever you have these things that are in parentheses like this with nothing between them, it's just multiplication. So you're multiplying all of these together. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay. You've got 24 there. But then the rule for multiplying exponents, x cubed times x squared times x to the fourth, is that you add the exponents. Whenever you have like bases like x, you just add the exponents. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. So x to the 9th. And there's your answer. Okay. Number 2. 2 times 4. Go ahead and stop the tape if you want to work these on your own. I'm just going to go through these. 2 times 4 is 8. X squared times x to the fourth is x to the sixth over x cubed. Okay. Remember, this is like a 1, so 8 over 1 is 8. X to the 6th over x to the third. Now the rule for dividing exponents that have like bases, these are both x's. The rule for dividing exponents like this is that you subtract them. Up here you added, these you subtract. So x to the 6 minus 3 is x to the third. Number 3. 6 times 2 is 12. X squared times x to the third is x to the fifth over 3x to the fourth. 12 divided by 3 is 4. X to the fifth over x to the fourth is x to the first. Number 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. X to the first times x squared times x to the fourth. Just add the exponents. You get x to the seventh. Number 5. 3 times 8 is 24. X to the first times x to the fourth is x to the fifth over 2x squared. 24 over 2 is 12. X to the fifth over x to the squared. X squared. Subtract the exponents. X to the third. Area of a rectangle. Length times width. So you're multiplying the length times the width. 8 times 2, 16. X times x. Remember, those are x to the first power, so you add the exponents. You get x squared. Y squared times y is y to the third. Number 2, we have a square, so length and width are the same. X to the fourth, y to the fourth. Number 3. Same thing. Length and width are the same. 2 times 2 is 4. X squared times x squared would be x to the fourth. Y to the fourth times y to the fourth. Remember, you add exponents. 4 plus 4 would make y to the 8th. Okay. Number 4. Which expression best represents the area of the triangle? Okay. Remember, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 base times height. Now we are given the base right here and the height, so we just plug those in. 3xy squared times x squared y over 2. It's just going to give us 3x, x to the what? Got two factors of x here and 1 factor of x here. Makes 3 factors of x. You add the exponents. Y squared times y is y to the 3rd, and then that's over 2. Okay. Now you look at your answers. X to the 3rd, y to the 3rd. We've got that in this answer and this answer. Three over 2, if you put that in your calculator, 3 over 2, you're going to get 1.5. Okay, that's what this is going to be. You got to remember, 3/2 is the same as 1.5. Another area of a rectangle. Just multiply length times width. You get 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. Those are both wrong. You don't add 4 and 3. That's what you would get if you added. You'd get 7. You don't add those. You multiply those just like you normally multiply two numbers together. It's the exponents that you add exponents. X times x is x squared. Y squared, there's no more y's over here, so it's just y squared. Number 2, triangle. Triangle, once again, base times height over 2. Get used to rectangles and triangles. Make sure you know the difference between the two formulas. Those are the two formulas you're going to see the most of on the tags. You'll need to be real comfortable with using those two formulas. Okay, so we've got our base, we've got height, and we multiply those, put them over 2. 4y times 2x over 2. 4 times 2 is 8. We got 8 xy over 2. 8 divided by 2 is just 4, and then xy. 4xy. And that's up here. Number 3, square. Remember, a square has the same length and width. So 2y and 2y, multiply them together, you get 4y squared. Number 4, same thing. It's another square. So the length is going to be the same as the width. Multiply these together, and you get 4x to the 4th power, y to the 4th power. Okay, these are the same, they just haven't drawn you a picture. You have to read these and work them out. It's the same thing though. Find the area of a rectangle, multiply length and width. When you multiply those, go ahead and stop the tape if you want to work these out on your own. I'm just going to go through these. When you multiply these together, 6 x to the 5th y. Number 2. It's a square, so that's why they've only given you one dimension here. They've given you the length. They didn't give you the width, so you have to know the length and width are the same since it's a square. So multiply this by itself, you get 16 x to the 6th y to the 4th. Number 3, we have a rectangle that is 20 a to the 4th, b to the 3rd square units. That's the area, okay? So they're giving us the area here. Now on all these problems that we've done before this, they've been asking what the area is. Which expression describes the area? Which expression describes the area? We've been finding the area on all of these. But now they're giving us the area, and then they give us the length, and they want to know the width. So let's go back to our formula for a rectangle. Now they're giving us this, and they're giving us this, and we need to find this. So now instead of multiplying, we're going to do the reverse of multiplying. We're going to divide. We're going to take the area, divide it by length to get the width. So 20 a to the 4th, b to the 3rd, divided by 5a squared b. Divided by 5 is 4. A to the 4th divided by a squared. Remember, you subtract exponents. B to the 3rd over b to the 1st. Subtract exponents. And there's your answer. 4a squared b squared. Okay. But you should have also been able to get to this answer just by trying the answers, because this answer, the width times this length, equals this area. That's what we've been doing on all of these problems. Length times width equals area. So when you plug that answer in for width, multiply by this length, you get this area. Number 4, same thing. And take the area. Okay, now they're not giving you the length or the width because it's a square. and they're the same. So you've got to figure this out, what they're wanting here. Remember, with a square, you take one side, the length or the width, and the other one's going to be the same since it's a square. So you take that length or width and you multiply it by itself. So one of these answers, when you multiply it by itself, is going to give you this area. And you can just kind of look at it and know it's got to be one of these. 6 times 6 is 36. And then when you look at these exponents, you know that m squared times itself is m to the 4th. N to the 3rd times itself is n to the 6th. So the answer has to be A. Number 5. Area of a triangle that has a base of this and a height of this. Okay, there's nothing new here. This is just finding the area of a triangle. So base times height over 2. Okay, so we get 4 times 2 is 8. X to the 4th times x to the 3rd is x to the 7th. Y squared times y is y to the 3rd, and then all of that's over 2. 8 over 2 is 4. So it's 4 x to the 7th, y to the 3rd. Number 6. Area of a square with this given side length. So a square, just multiply it by itself. 6 times 6 is 36. X to the 3rd times x to the 3rd is x to the 6th. Y to the 5th times y to the 5th is y to the 10th. Okay. Look at number 1. Area of a rectangle. So I'm taking the length times the width. 6m squared n to the 4th times 1/3 m to the 3rd n. Okay. There's nothing new here except they've thrown a fraction in. Okay, 6 times 1/3. You could think of 6 as 6 over 1. 6 over 1 times 1/3. You multiply fractions straight across. 6 over 3 is just 2. You could also plug this in the calculator. 6 times 1/3, and put the 1/3 in parentheses. 6 times 1/3 will give you 2. Okay? So we got 2. Cancel those 2 out. And then use your rules for exponents, just like before. M squared times the m to the 3rd is m to the 5th. N to the 4th times n to the 1st is n to the 5th. Okay? Number 2, we're going to square, multiply by itself. 4 times 4 is 16. M to the 3rd times itself is m to the 6th. Looks like that's going to be our answer. N to the 4th times itself is n to the 8th. Number 3. The area of a rectangle is this many units. So once again, they're giving us the area area of a rectangle, length times width. And then they're giving us the width, and they're asking us how many units long, the length. So here's the area. We don't know the length, but we do know the width. Okay? Just like before, when we're given the area and one of these numbers over here, we know we need to divide. So divide these two. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. A to the 4th divided by A to the 3rd. Remember, you subtract exponents. That would be A to the 1st. And then B divided by B. What is anything divided by itself? What's 8 divided by 8? It's just 1. Okay. B divided by B is just 1. And we don't really even need to put that 1. We don't need to say times 1, because times 1 just leaves us with what we started with here. So basically B over B, or B divided by B, just cancels out like that. So 5A is the answer. Number 4, we're given the area and we're given the length, so we need to divide. 81 divided by 9 is 9. M to the 4th divided by M to the 1st is M to the 3rd. And N to the 3rd divided by N to the 3rd cancels out, just like the B's canceled out here. N to the 3rd and N to the 3rd is going to cancel out. So you just have 9M to the 3rd. And there's the answer.